Welcome. This training module will guide you through the installation and setup of the Compass point of sale system. In your welcome kit, find the installer link to download the installer file. Save the installer executable to your computer hard drive. In this case, the user has already downloaded the Compass installer. Run the file. After the file has unpacked, the following setup screen will appear. Press Next to start the installation process. Agree to the license agreement and press Next to install to the default destination folder. Click the Install button. The system will now unpack all program components. We will now configure the hardware for the point of sale. Receipt printers, cash drawers, pull displays, and other point of sale hardware should be plugged in and powered at this time. Enter the store credentials for the current store. In this case, we'll be logging into test SNI1. Click OK. The system will now verify the login credentials. This process may take a few minutes. Please be patient. Once the login is successful, the following terminal details screen will appear. We will now take a moment to test your point of sale hardware. Press the Test POS hardware button. At this point, we will specify information about your printer hardware. For example, if you have a receipt printer, ensure that the receipt printer is connected to the computer and that it's plugged in and powered. If you have a cash drawer, ensure that the cash drawer cable is plugged into the receipt printer. Depending on the type of connection, you may have either a parallel, serial, or USB connector connecting the receipt printer to your computer. Select the type of printer cable you are using. In this case, we have specified the parallel port or parallel cable. Select the receipt printer brand you are using and find the most appropriate model. For example, if you are using an Epson printer, select Epson. To test the receipt printer setting, press the Print Sample button. If your receipt printer is configured correctly, a receipt should print. If you have decided to use a third-party printer driver, you should have installed that driver prior to the installation. In that case, you will select Default Printer. Once you have verified your hardware configurations, press Back. You'll notice the system is asking you to select a terminal ID. Each register in the store will have a unique terminal ID. For example, if you have 2 registers, you would have 2 terminal IDs available. The registers will be numbered sequentially. Select, for example, 001 and press the View button. At this point, we have to select the proper hardware configurations. These were verified earlier through the Test POS hardware button. If I am selecting, for example, a star printer with a USB port, ensure that the star printer and receipt printer port is set as USB port. Similarly, you can set up your customer display and invoice printer. Press the Save button when complete. If the terminal was successfully configured, the following prompt will appear. Press OK. Installation is almost complete. The following login screen will appear. If this is the first login, the URL screen or URL text box may be blank. Consult your welcome kit and locate the Compass point of sale URL string. Ensure that the URL string is correctly formed. It should have an HTTP prefix. Enter your store login credentials and press OK. The login process will now start. The first time, store information, inventory, customers, and other configurations will be downloaded. After that, only changes to the configurations will be downloaded, and the login process should be faster on subsequent occasions. A countdown timer will time out if the internet connection is not available. In that case, the point of sale will log in offline mode. In this case, the credentials were successfully verified and user authentication is complete. As the download completes, the progress bar will advance. After the progress bar is fully advanced, the point of sale will load. If login was successful and all the components were correctly downloaded, the following screen will appear. Compass setup is now complete. Press the escape button to exit out of the point of sale. This training module has now completed. For additional information on how to operate or use the point of sale, consult the additional training modules provided. Thank you. Goodbye.